Welcome to the Inspirational Living Podcast. A special thanks to our newest patrons, John Lynham, Ken Farrell, and Rauno Rusalil. Coming up next Monday, I will be starting our new 2019 patron series, 30 Seconds to a Beautiful Life, a daily video series where I get your day started with a motivational message from the classic inspirational authors that we feature on this podcast. To become our monthly patron and gain access to this new series, visit livinghour.org/patron. Thank you. Today's reading was edited and adapted from the Greek philosopher Plato. Every heart sings a song incomplete until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Wise people speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men and women are afraid of the light. No matter how hard you fight the darkness, every light casts a shadow, and the closer you get to the light, the darker that shadow becomes. The price good people pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil politicians. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to education by what amuses their minds, so that you may better be able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of their own genius. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. A library of wisdom is more precious than all wealth, and all things that are desirable cannot be compared to it. Whoever therefore claims to be zealous of truth, of happiness, of wisdom or knowledge, must become a lover of books. According to Diotima, love is not a god at all, but is rather a spirit that mediates between people and the objects of their desire. Love is neither wise nor beautiful, but is rather the desire for wisdom and beauty. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. The soul takes nothing with it to the next world but its education and its culture. At the beginning of the journey to the next world, one's education and culture can either provide the greatest assistance or else act as the greatest burden to the person who has just died. To be afraid of death is only another form of thinking that one is wise when one is not. It is to think that one knows what one does not know. No one knows with regard to death whether it is not really the greatest blessing that can happen to you, but people dread it as though they were certain it is the greatest evil. Death, it is certain, is not the worst that can happen to you. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. A hero is born among 100. A wise one is found among 1,000. But a truly accomplished person might not be found even among 100,000 women and men. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture and society will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. Character is simply habit long continued. Love is simply the name for the desire and pursuit of wholeness. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that takes practice. We do not act rightly because we are excellent, but rather we achieve excellence by acting rightly. People are like soil. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Music is a moral law. It gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, charm to sadness, gaiety and life to everything. It is the essence of order, and leads to all that is good and just and beautiful. I would thus teach children music, physics, and philosophy, but most importantly music, for the patterns in music and all the arts are the keys to worthwhile learning. To conquer oneself is the best and noblest victory. However, to be vanquished by one's own nature is the worst and most ignoble defeat. Evil is the vulgar lover who loves the body rather than the soul. Such a lover is not stable, because it loves a thing which is in itself unstable. Therefore, when the bloom of youth which it was desiring is over, it takes wing and flies away, in spite of all its words and promises. Whereas the love of a noble disposition and character is lifelong, for it becomes one with the everlasting. Writing is the geometry of the soul. Poets utter great and wise things which they do not themselves understand. Nothing beautiful occurs without struggle. Time is the moving image of eternity. No wealth can ever make a bad person at peace with themselves. In practice, people who study philosophy too long become very odd birds, not to say thoroughly vicious, while even those who are the best of them are reduced by philosophy to complete uselessness as members of society. All I really know is the extent of my own ignorance. The person who finds that in the course of their life they have done a lot of wrong often wakes up at night in terror, like a child with a nightmare, and their life is full of foreboding. But the person who is conscious of but few harmful actions is filled with cheerfulness and with the comfort of old age. Let parents bequeath to their children not monetary riches, but the spirit of reverence. We are like people looking for something they have in their hands all the time. We're looking in all directions except at the thing we want, which is probably why we haven't found it. In order to succeed in life, God provided us with two means, education and physical activity. Not separately, one for the soul and the other for the body, but for the two together. With these means, we can attain perfection. The Inspirational Living Podcast is a production of The Living Hour. Get the best of our podcast in heirloom hardcover books or digital ebooks by visiting our website, inspirationallifelessons.com. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking with you next time.